Hi, everyone. Thanks for the intro, too. I'm happy to celebrate mainnet with all of you today. Scroll is finally live on mainnet. And I'm going to walk you a little bit through how it all came about and why we're so excited. So we started this journey in 2021, and we're happy to finally be able to say that Scroll mainnet now officially is launched on mainnet and is open for everyone to use. And just a short recap, but what we do at Scroll. So at Scroll, we're building a scaling layer for Ethereum. We all love Ethereum; it's the best, but it also has its flaws. So when too many people try to use it, at the same time, it can get really expensive, and that to an extent that it can price people out and also price applications out. And what we've done is we've built a ZK rollup, which is the idea to make using Ethereum cheaper and faster than the base layer itself. And we're doing that by offloading some of the computation to our chain and creating ZK proofs to make sure we can guarantee that everything is in our network follows the rules of Ethereum. And to understand Scroll, I think it's interesting to look at our origination story. So the way we work at Scroll and the way we approach our community has a lot to do with the way Scroll started out, which is actually with a bunch of comments and contributions to the Ethereum's research forum. And this engagement on this forum around open source CK research ultimately actually escalated into founding an organization, Scroll, with the goal to build a ZK EVM, which would help scale Ethereum. And I think what's important to understand when we talk about scaling Ethereum, we don't only mean scaling Ethereum from the tech side of things, but also its community and its values. Ethereum probably has the best developer ecosystem in the space, and we just really want to make sure that this open source and collaborative ethos does not get diluted the more we extend the network. So from day one, we were in close collaboration with EF's PSE team, which is the privacy and scaling exploration team at EF. And so we have been building in the open from the start. So all of our ZK circuits have been built in the open from day one. And yeah, we're just really of the opinion when it comes to building as complex and as an L2 and something where security is really extremely important, it just helps to have a lot of eyes on it. And this collaboration has just really shaped the culture within Scroll quite a bit. So for many of us that joined along the way, including myself, this was really the first way we learned about the Scroll team through mutual friends in the Ethereum community. And yeah, when building Scroll, number one priority has and will always be the developer experience. So we really want to make sure it's as smooth as possible, or how Scroller started describing it, as easy as just copy, paste, deploy. Scroll has one of the most familiar developer experience outside of Ethereum itself. So porting over your dApp is extremely easy. And the feedback that we've gotten from devs is that it really just works, which has been nice to hear at Hackathons. And now hopefully we'll continue to hear it on mainnet as well. And yeah, by offering an EVM compatible solution, we allow every developer tooling to function right off the box, so you don't have to worry about anything. And we really wanted to ensure that you have everything you need in order to be able to deploy. And so when it comes to bytecode, the bytecode compatibility is one thing, but on top of that, we wanted to make sure that the dev experience doesn't fall apart during the deployment process, and that all of the important infra such as Anchor, Etherscan, Safe, the Graph, and many more are available to the ecosystem right from the start. And that is something that particularly my team, the partnerships team, has been concerned about in just like leading up to mainnet. When it comes to our broader ecosystem, it's really important to us that we create a level playing field. So we are Scroll here. We're not here to pick any winners, but we want to make sure that you're set up for success if you choose to build on Scroll. We are really committed to foster this inclusive ecosystem that grows organically, competes fairly, and scales together. And we're going to hear a little bit about that later on in the live stream, as Raza and Chakra have said. We have teams like Dora, Lens, and Cog Finance to talk a little bit about their experience and how it has been building on Scroll, but also just like in general on the L2 landscape in itself. When it comes to building an L2, we've always known that this is a long-term endeavor, and we've made this commitment to bring scalability to Ethereum without compromising on security. So you will never find us rushing into any releases. So our focused developer experience, as I said, and the security is not purely theoretical. We went through 3 iterations of our testnet, with Sepolia being the final testnet. I think maybe some of you remember we launched our girly testnet around ETH Denver, and now being on Sepolia, sort of like kind of future-proof our testnet environment as well. And these many steps, these many iterations that allowed us to refine and to battle test our chain together with our community and external contributors. So that has been somewhat of like, I think, like 15-month process. And over the last a little bit over a year, we've had almost half a million smart contracts deployed, and we surpassed around 90 million transactions. And so that has been on the team side and community side, but to complement our internal efforts here, we also worked really closely with industry-leading auditors such as Open Zeppelin, Zelig, Trailbits, Kalos, to really ensure that Scroll maintains the highest level of security across our entire stack. And we just really wanted to make sure that what we're building can be the trust layer of Web3. And yeah, we really wanted to make sure that everything runs smoothly once we hit mainnet. And so far, everything worked out, and we're extremely happy that we're having this live stream, that we're having the celebration this week to finally see the hard work pay off. And that being said, I think it's also important to remember that security is not a one-off thing. We are going to continue our security efforts, and we just launched our bug bounty program on Immunify, and yeah, we're inviting everyone to participate. And just to sort of like end this run through, I wanted to also talk a little bit about why Scroll. You've heard Raza and Taco talk a little bit about why they joined. And yeah, I think it's always really interesting to take a look at this as well. So this year has really been the year of CK, and we've seen tremendous progress and success and surprises across the ecosystem. And we have seen several ZK EVMs go live this year. And yeah, just overall has been overwhelming. But besides these technical nuances of like all these different, like across the space, I think it's always interesting to look at what's the fabric a protocol is made of, if that makes sense. So I wanted to like on like a final note, I kind of wanted to talk about what makes Scroll. And I think it means different things to different people in the organization. And for me, maybe I'm also biased because I'm on the partnerships team and I talk a lot of people and projects. But yeah, for me, it really means the global community. We're spread across 26 different countries, different continents, and probably sometimes too many time zones. But yeah, we're always really trying to meet our community where they are. We have people in LATAM, US, Europe, Asia, and you really experience that every community has their own quirk, their own perspective. And some of our biggest users are in countries like Turkey or Vietnam, where we're sitting here right now. And yeah, we're just of the opinion, or we think that those places will be the places where liquidity, users, and transactions, where they will be the driver going into the next cycle. And it might be for different reasons. We see that there's a lot going on across the entire ecosystem. So for some communities, they will be drivers because of like different levels of regulatory friendliness, or there's more a new excitement around it than maybe for the communities that we're already really familiar with. So there's really a lot of potential in communities that maybe the mainstream crypto community is not as familiar with. And we're at Scroll extremely well positioned to support locally and also leverage those communities. And I think it's important to remember that, and I think everyone working in the space also experiences this, that building a truly global community is not easy. But what it does make it easier is when you have this excitement around and for Ethereum as the foundation. And that is what we're really trying to do here at Scroll. And in fact, actually, we have a panel later on with community builders around the world, and they will share their insights on this as well. And yeah, that was the TLDR of Scroll. We're going to go into more nuances and details later on. But yeah, without further ado, I will hand over to my colleague Raza, who you've seen already. He's our DevRel, and he will show you how easy it actually is to deploy on Scroll.